Tonight, our coverage as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and federal leaders condemn Montreal's anti-NATO protests as anti-Semitic. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Elia Batul. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other federal leaders are condemning an anti-NATO protest in Montreal, Quebec. The demonstration began peacefully Friday night at the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. The protest was organized by the Divest for Palestine Collective and anti-capitalist group Convergence des Luttes Anticapitalistes. Protesters aim to criticize NATO's role in global conflicts and its alleged complicity in Israeli military actions. However, the demonstration turned into chaos when protesters and police clashed. Divest for Palestine spokesperson Benoit Allard said police injured several demonstrators and accused officers of excessive force. Mainstream media says 2 vehicles were lit on fire and windows were smashed. Montreal police have confirmed 3 arrests. Trudeau has denounced the events on social media, calling them appalling. He says acts of anti-Semitism, intimidation, and violence must be condemned. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre seizes the moment to criticize Trudeau. He says Trudeau opened the border to terrorists and lawbreakers and called anyone who questioned the move racist. Quebec Premier François Legault and Montreal Mayor Valérie Plante denounced the destruction. Legault says the protest has targeted the Jewish community and undermined peaceful dialogue. However, Montreal police say they have not yet received reports of anti-Semitic incidents linked to the protest. Montreal Police Chief Fadi Derar has told reporters he can't make the correlation with Friday's acts, whether they were anti-Semitic or not. Degar says he's not ready to make any conclusions yet. A key organizer of Canada's 2022 Freedom Convoy protests have been found guilty of mischief and other charges by an Ottawa court. Pat King is convicted of 5 counts, including mischief, counseling mischief, and disobeying court orders. King has, however, been acquitted of intimidation and obstructing police charges. The protests were sparked by a vaccine mandate for cross-border truckers. The protesters gridlocked Ottawa for 3 weeks, disrupting residents and businesses. King's actions include allegedly directing lorries to block streets and encourage noise disturbances. Prosecutors used his social media videos as key evidence. King maintains the demonstrations were peaceful. The protests ended after Prime Minister Trudeau invoked emergency powers to clear the streets. King faces up to 10 years in prison and a separate trial for perjury and obstruction of justice. Co-organizers of the protest Tamara Lich and Chris Barber await their verdicts. Toronto immigration lawyer Max Chaudhry has become a victim of AI-generated deepfake videos used to exploit vulnerable immigrants. The videos falsely depict Chaudhry asking for money. The videos were shared via WhatsApp to unsuspected individuals. One victim realized the videos were a scam after being asked for $7,000. The victim contacted Chaudhry's office to clarify. Chaudhry has expressed concerns about deepfake technology targeting desperate newcomers. He says, "It feels like my identity is being misused for illegal purposes." Advocacy groups warn that Canada's evolving immigration policies have created confusion, making migrants easy prey for scams. Recently, Canada has reduced permanent resident and study permit targets. Experts are advising newcomers to verify legal services thoroughly and avoid sending money prematurely. The Federal Immigration Department recommends using officials' resources to avoid fraud. After more than 1 year of devastation and incessant attacks, Israel's strikes on Gaza continue. An Israeli airstrike has killed 4 Palestinians and wounded several others in Rafah. The military has also targeted the Nuseirat refugee camp. The demolition of homes in Jabalia and Beit Lahia is ongoing. Further attacks have struck the Gamal Adwan hospital in northern Gaza. The director of the hospital has been critically wounded. Several of the medical staff have been killed. Gaza's media office says Israel deliberately targets the healthcare infrastructure. The office says over 1,000 fatalities of doctors and nurses have occurred due to the attacks. Numerous medical workers have been arrested or executed. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 44,211 Palestinians. More than 100,000 have been injured. Last week, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice over its brutal war in Gaza. Hezbollah has fired 340 missiles and drones into Israel, injuring 11 people. Israeli media says the attack has caused significant destruction in Tel Aviv. Following Hezbollah's attacks, nearly 4 million Israelis sought refuge in underground bunkers. The attack follows devastating Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon this past Saturday and Sunday. The strikes killed 84 civilians. The relentless airstrikes have led to the suspension of schools in Beirut. In Lebanon, at least 3,754 civilians have been killed by Israeli strikes since October last year. 15,626 have been injured. Republican U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham vows to impose sanctions on allies if they enforce International Criminal Court arrest warrants against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. These include Canada, Britain, Germany, and France. Graham is urging nations to side with the U.S. over what he calls a rogue ICC. Graham made the comments during an interview with Fox News. This comes as Canada, Britain, and France say they will follow international law and arrest Netanyahu and Gallant if they enter these countries. Germany has indicated defying the warrants. The warrants accuse Netanyahu and Gallant of war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. President-elect Donald Trump has endorsed Florida State Senator Randy Fine for Congress, calling him an America First patriot. Fine is known for his inflammatory anti-Muslim rhetoric. He gained notoriety for praising the killing of U.S.-Turkish activist Ayşenur Ezgi Aygi by Israeli forces. Aygi was participating in a peaceful protest in the occupied West Bank when she was fatally shot. Israeli and U.S. officials have dismissed her killing as accidental. Fine's controversial history includes labeling Muslims as radicals and justifying fearing them. He has also made Islamophobic and anti-Palestinian statements. In the past, activists, including the Council on American Islamic Relations, have condemned his hateful rhetoric. Fine has expressed gratitude for the support. He has hinted at a possible congressional run, saying it would be the honor of his life. Emirati authorities have arrested 3 suspects linked to the killing of an Israeli rabbi. This comes as Rabbi Zvi Kogan's body was found after he went missing last Thursday. The 28-year-old managed a kosher grocery store in Dubai. Kogan's death comes amid Israel's ongoing assault in Gaza and Lebanon. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemns the killing. He calls the incident a heinous anti-Semitic terror incident. Netanyahu has thanked UAE officials for their cooperation. Israeli President Isaac Herzog has also lauded Emirati efforts in the swift investigation. Following the incident, Israel has issued a travel warning, citing threats to Israelis and Jews in the region. A British Muslim chaplain has received the most impactful Imam accolade at the British Beacon Mosques Award. Adam Kelwick played an integral part in diffusing tensions outside Liverpool's Abdullah Quillam Mosque after the Southport attacks in July. The attack killed 3 children and injured 8 others. Misinformation that the attacker was Muslim spread like wildfire, turning protests outside the mosque tense. During this critical time, Kelwick acted calmly. He shared food, shook hands, and engaged in meaningful conversation with the protesters. His actions went viral, showcasing beautiful interactions between Muslims and protesters. Kelwick says Liverpool's community played an important role in diffusing the crisis. He has dedicated the award to those who defended the mosque and challenged prejudice. Kelwick's demeanor encouraged some protesters to later tour the mosque and reflect on their actions. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.